Hello. I Before I say anything, I want you to know that I'm I'm issuing a trigger warning from the beginning. Um, I'll add something at the before you actually hear me talking. Um, and I'll put one in the description and everything. But there's a lot of things that I need to discuss, and um, the subject matter is can be triggering for people. So I'm issuing the warning now. Um, I as you For the people who are subscribed to me or even look to see how much time has passed between the last time I uploaded a video. Um, it's been weeks. Um, I just I've been going through a lot because of health issues, which I'll most likely touch on later in this video. Um I was let go from my job. Um, it's nothing discriminatory. It's just because of my health issues. I missed a certain amount of days from work, and if I because I went over the limit, that's why I was let go. It wasn't because it wasn't that was the only reason. And I'm thankful that the the job that I was at is is ready to welcome me back to being an employee as soon as I get everything um, settled as far as health is concerned. So yeah, so that partially had to deal with why I wasn't uploading, even though I could literally upload anytime that I wanted because I no longer had a job. It was There's that added stress that I had no income. I am de- for I'm definitely not rich in any means. Um, I'm an example of far from it. So that there's added stress. Um, because at least when I was working, I was making some kind of income, so I was able to support myself somewhat, able to get things for myself. Because I still do live at home, and home financial situation isn't it's actually never been where, of course, I'd like it to be. So uh, it's been a struggle my whole life. So there's a lot of things that I need to talk about. This is where the trigger warning really comes into effect. Because I know I've mentioned in previous videos. One that comes to mind right now is I had hinted at it um, because of some of the lyrics and because of some of the lyrics for JJ Project's music, most recent music video. I'm not sure if it's today, tomorrow, or I believe it's today, tomorrow. I'll If I'm incorrect, I'll put it up here around this point. But I'm have been stressing about my like what I actually want to do for a career. And I spent the last 4 years um, going to school to go into the culinary field. Um, some of my videos, you saw I was wearing a cap and gown. I had graduated with my associate's degree. The reason why I didn't graduate with my bachelor's has to do with health again, which I will bring up later in the video. But um, I just, it was a real, like, closer um, to the end of my time at that school. I realized that I, like, how increasingly, like, little by little, how much I did not want to go to class. I was stressed. Um, I I realized when I was doing my internship, which was the beginning of the last academic school year. Um, about this time last year, I had already finished my internship. So this is before I started uploading on a regular basis. Um, long months before, um, I realized that culinary was not what I wanted to do anymore. Um, but I did not want to just drop out in the middle of the term. I would not have had the money to fly home or anything, so I had to stick it out until the end of the year and um, just come home then. Um, I'm only a term away from getting my bachelor's, but I know that this is not something that I wanted to do. Um, so I had already missed the deadline when I really realized I can't go back and finish out a degree that I don't even want in the first place. Um, so I am going back to school for music. It, regardless of regardless of whatever's happened in my life, what's gotten me through has been music. And if the music that um, I'm going to make helps even one person, um, it'll make what I it'll make what I went through worth it. And so so I'm gonna try and go in order. Because what really prompted me to make this video was um Chang Hyun from SHINee committing suicide. I, if you know me, um, if you know me, I've said before, SHINee was one of the first groups that I ever got into. And when I first started getting into K-pop, they were actually the second to be exact. And I, because they were the first three groups one of the first three groups I ever got into, there's this special place that all the members hold in my heart. And so, um, like, as much as I'm crying now, it was worse when I first found out. I, it, is, it hurts. Um, and I can't, I, just thinking about what the members and what his family is going through, just hearing all the different reactions, finding out about all the different reactions um that the members had, just the fact that his sister was the last one to um receive any kind of like text message or anything from him. Just I can't even imagine what they're going through. Um, this and this is as a fan, being a fan for as long as I have, I was aware that he um he had depression, and I was aware of it, but I didn't know that um it was I didn't know he was suicidal. Um, I I had thought I hoped or had thought slash hoped that he was um getting um getting found a healthy way to get through it. Um, and it, it breaks my heart just to think about how like how hopeless he must have felt in like in, in his last moments. Like I can't. And one of the reasons why I cried so hard was because I understand I've I can understand how he felt, um because I've I've had depression before. It's not something that I know depression is not like code where you get it and then you're like it's completely gone. I understand that you it comes in like there's fate, and from what I understand it, depression comes in phases, and I just there's there's a lot that I want to talk about. So this is the point of making this video is to reach out. 'Cause I know my personality wise, I'm the kind of person to um not share things with others, especially personal details, until long after I've known you. So if friends, the people that I know, um, that people that I know personally watch this video, there's things that they most likely don't know. Um, just because I'm still, even though I've known them for years, I still haven't divulged everything just because because I'm honestly scared to. Um, so so because I like to go in order. Um, the first topic that I'm going to be talking about is childhood abuse, um, from as far back as I can remember, from um from when I was a toddler to when I was about 12. Um, I was physically abused. Um, I, by, by my mother. And it wasn't just physical. There was emotional abuse attached to it. I I haven't mentioned this to many people before, but I've, especially in elementary school, it felt like I was going from one hell to the other. So um so so being at home, being physically abused, being emotionally abused, to then go to school and be bullied every day. Um, that's that's elementary school is when I dealt with my first serious bout of depression. Um, it was between first and second grade. Like this happened in first and second grade. I became really depressed. Um, as I just said, I was getting abused at home. I was getting bullied at school. And it it affected me to a point um where I got depression, and that depression got to the point where I became suicidal. Um, and you can imagine a 6, 7-year-old girl not wanting to live anymore, feeling like everything's her fault, and is feeling like you're not worth anything. You're worth less than the dirt on the ground, and not feeling like you're worthy of getting any help for how you feel. And it's, I, it, those feelings got to the point where I attempted suicide, and I would I would get a plastic bag to put over my head and a host of suffocating myself so I didn't think. I I hated myself. I really truly did, and I thought the only way out was killing myself because I was in so much pain. And nobody knew for years after. Nobody. I didn't tell anybody. I still dealt with the abuse from home, going to school, and getting bullied. And this is just attributed to my distrust of people and not believing not believing when someone has my interests at heart and genuinely wants to be there for me. And I, I it still affects me to this day. Um, I've there's been so many things that I could have participated in if I wasn't so afraid of how people would receive it, how people would treat me after, and I, I, I wanted to make this video to make a breakthrough as far as um as far as everything, just my insecurities, um, because I'm I'm how this I'm I'm so so body wise I'm 5 feet 8 inches or 172 centimeters, and the last time I got weighed was in June, and um I was over 300 pounds. Um, and most most of the people that are around me from back home or when I was um, away at school, they're 5'6" or they're 5 feet 6 inches or under. And so I've even though 2 inches is not that much of a height difference, at least to me it isn't. It always felt like I felt like a giant. I felt always felt like always I never felt like I've never felt a part of something. Like I always felt like I was awkward one out. Um, I I've never been. I don't even remember the last time I was quote unquote skinny. And it gets my depression has played a big part of it. I has 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 I don't know. I'm trying to say. Um, my depression played a huge part in how I um how I look at myself. Um, I don't even now, even with this wig on, um, I don't feel like I'm what society wants me to be, and I know it. Part of me knows that I don't have to be to be considered beautiful or anything, but just being inundated with all the advertisements, all like in, in all forms of media um, about lose weight fast, and I just always thought, oh, if I if I got down, if I looked like that, or if I looked a certain way, then people would actually want to be around me. Um, I, and it was really bad in high school. Like I said, I've never been quote unquote skinny, but I've basically every single person that I ever had a crush on in grade school. So that means elementary, middle school, high school. Um, I got rejected by all of them. Um, so as you can imagine, with all that I went through as is at that point, and then getting rejected by someone that you really like, um, it chips away at someone who already has self-esteem issues, and I I just I, I just felt so ugly. I felt like nobody would ever love me. Nobody would ever want to be there for. Nobody would want to be there for me. Um, and having that mindset, it it does something to you, and it you can't just wish it away. Because if that was possible, I would have done so already. Because just feeling this dread, feeling like feeling like you'll be alone for the rest of your life is something I would not wish on my worst enemy. It it is is a horrible feeling to have, and I what didn't make it any better was um in 10th grade I um I woke up one day and like if I walked a certain way, there was this pain that would shoot in my lower back, and it hurt to the point where I didn't go to school that day. Um, and then I woke up the next day, and my when my legs would start shaking. I woke up that next day, and my legs started shaking. Um, it was it not when I'm sitting down, not when I'm laying down. It's when I'm standing or trying to walk. Um, my legs would shake, and I missed I missed practically every single day of school after that until the end of the year. So this is like a good month and a half that I missed because of this leg problem that popped up seemingly out of nowhere. Um, I went to different doctors, and I was just told that it was stress. Um, I I even when I came in, even when I started setting up, my legs were shaking from then. Um, so I it doesn't happen all the time. Um, and happened it's happened multiple times after I've like recorded videos for the day since I started posting regularly, somewhat regularly on this channel. So I I've missed school. I've missed days in high school. I've missed days in college. I've had to retake more than one class in college because of it. Um, and I I don't I still have no idea what's wrong with me. I don't know if it really is just stress or if there's if there's some some condition that I have that I'm not aware of right now. And I when it first happened, I would get these really bad migraines. Along with it, it was basically if my legs started shaking, I'd get a migraine not too long after, or if I got a migraine first, my legs would start shaking not too long after, and I is especially frustrating because home for most of my life it's been just me, my mom, and my brother, my oldest younger brother, and it's it's not like my father passed or anything. He's still alive. It's just he hasn't been a consistent part of my life, and I've never lived with him. So, and I don't even think my parents were together by the time I was born. But I I just with with the situation at home, I'm I'm my I'm my mother's first child, so I understand overall that being a first child, you're automatically bound to get more responsibilities, or or get the assumption that you're supposed to act more responsible. Um, but what was stressful was not only the top of getting abused, I did most of I did like 99% of 99% of the house, like the chores, 98 to 99% of the time. Um, my brother, my mother barely made my oldest younger brother do anything, like help out with the chores. He would outright refuse to do things, and then it would fall back on me. Um, and I understand, and someone someone watching might ask, "Oh, why didn't your mother do it then?" My mother has health health issues of her own to the point where she can't work either. Lower lower back problems, knee problems. She's had procedures done on both of her knees. She she has a list of health problems of her own. So I understand how the responsibility would fall on the children once they were old enough to do certain things around the house. So I understand that much. Um, but it I feel like there was clear favoritism. Like she would go out of her way to do stuff for my younger brother, even when I was the one who got better grades, the one who listened to her more. There were still things that I did that I know was wrong. Um, so I understand getting disciplined for it because it wouldn't be right to just let me do something that isn't right and then not let me know it wasn't right. Um, and I um I understand the need for discipline, but the problem that I have, the problem that I had and still have is the method in which the discipline was carried out. Um, and I realized that in the black community that it's that a, a lot of a lot of people have been like they've they've gotten beat as children, and people just say like, oh, it's whatever. No, it's not whatever. Um, I have never and will never support that way of disciplining. If I were to ever have children, that's not how I want them. That's not how I'm going to discipline them. They will know right from wrong, but that is not the method in which I'm going to use to discipline them. There's there's healthier ways of disciplining your children and still letting them know that what they did was not right. And anybody who has a problem with it can continue to have a problem with it. With what I said, they can continue to have a problem because I'm not changing my mind for anything. Um, and that's another thing. Being in a black household, specifically a black Jamaican household, there's this issue, this epidemic with most most households where your problems, your issues get pushed aside. Where there's people that have less than you. I don't know why you're complaining. All these other things. And I hate that kind of mentality because the the people that actually have enough courage to even say anything to their family members, they're fully aware that there's other people in the world suffering more than them. But good does it? What good is it if you're not where you need to be emotionally to be able to help those people that are in need? What good does it do? So, I anybody who even watches to this point, because I didn't realize how long this video was going to be, and I still have more I want to talk about. I like people in African American community, um, people in general who feel like their concerns aren't heard, that they they don't feel like anybody cares. I do. Um, I'm like my inboxes are open, whether it be on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Um, I've always had my social media in the description, so if you want to talk, let me know. Like, just send me a message. I'll answer it because we need, as people, we need to be able to get through, be able to hopefully get through our issues in life in a healthy way. And if me talking to any one of you that watches helps in any way, I'm more than happy to, if there's a possibility that anything that I say will help anybody that watches this and decides to send me a message, I'm more than willing to do that, because I don't I'm so tired of seeing people going through stuff and not feeling like they have anybody to talk to, me included. And I want to help. So please, if you're willing to, I my DMs are open. I um, I wrote a list of things that I wanted to talk about in the video, and I feel like I might have forgotten something. I just so something that I didn't touch on all that much as far as specifics is insecurities. I initially I touched up on it um earlier on, but um especially with the fact that I'm changing careers, um I I'm just I'm honestly scared. Um and I just hate how the educational system and the whole expects you to know what you want to do with the rest of your life by the age of 18 or whenever you graduate high school, and it's not that easy. um in high school I thought I wanted to go into culinary arts, which is why I only applied to schools that had a culinary arts program. But I realized um, it it was like drops in a bucket, and then um, I'd say about halfway through my junior year, going into my sophomore year, going into my senior year of college, I realized it was more like a running faucet. How much I didn't want to be in this field anymore, and I just I felt like I wasn't progressing as much as I wanted to. I tried getting real world experience, and nobody was willing to hire me. And it being someone with low self esteem, there that yet again chipped at what little I had, and and I know I've posted covers on this channel before, but I don't. Uh, Behind every cover that I've ever posted on this channel, there's at least 10 to 20 tries before I choose the final one where like, I before I choose the final one that ends up being on the channel. And it's not because I want it to be just perfect. It's the one that I can bear listening to again, and um as I've never felt like I was good enough in anything, um singing especially. um I would the few times that I had enough courage in high school to actually sing out loud when I was at home, I usually got shut up. Um, I was told to shut up, um, and that would discourage me. I wouldn't think about doing it for weeks after, just because as soon as I get, because I felt like as soon as I got told, oh, to be quiet or to shut up, it was like that. My first thought was I that bad that you had to be like that? And I, I don't, I don't, I, I'm, I hesitate even now, even with me being 22. I still hesitate with being more out there, being more confident, because still live at home, and I, so that means I still have to, um, because of financial reasons, I live at home. I'm, my oldest younger brother, my mom, and now my stepdad. I, I never felt like um, being in this pretty much the same environment that breeded the insecurities, um, the depression that I have, that I've, the bouts of depression that I've had. It it's not helpful for my recovery. I know that. I I feel like living help more than a member of the family. Feel like I get feel like, especially from my mother. I feel like I'm I'm only worth something when she wants something done for her, or she um, or she wants like or she wants to tell me about some random video, some random post on the internet. But I can barely talk to her, and I, I haven't had a heart-to-heart talk with her, in so long. And what's so frustrating is that when I tried to talk to her before about all the problems that that I have that have to do with her, and it seemed like the whole it seemed like it was changing for maybe like a week, and then um it went back to how it's always been. I remember um when I was 13, I believe. I was um I was cooking, um because not only with cleaning and that kind of stuff, I also did most of the cooking. Like after I turned 10, I did most of the cooking. So it was even somewhat now. Cook for the if I don't cook, then nothing like then nothing else. But nobody says, "Oh, let me cook this time." If she's not cooking, even now it's still like that. So heard part of a conversation my mom was having with her friend. Um, and she had another one recently, but I want to talk about the one that happened first, where I was in the middle of cooking, and she literally said, almost verbatim, "Oh, I don't need a maid when I have Deandra," and that hurt because I thought I was your daughter first. I thought I was I meant more to you than that, and um, with this same friend, mind you, she's called me the B word. I don't I could say the actual word, but I would like to keep the cussing on this channel from like keep keep it on a minimum. The only time that there's really been any cussing is because of a reaction that I've done that like the music had cussing in it. But that's that's a, that's where the extent of cussing on my channel comes in. But uh, hearing her refer to me as that, it hurt. It and it also made me mad. You don't you don't you don't talk about your daughter like that. Like I've done so much for that. I've, I've done so much for you and for the household in general. Um, there were even times when my legs first started shaking that because my my oldest younger brother would outright refuse, even with the knowledge that I could not walk stably because of my legs shaking. I would still have to I would still have to do stuff for her because she wouldn't make him do anything, and she doesn't make him do anything now, and it's so frustrating because there's times where I've needed a little bit of financial help, um and while I've been at school, while I've been here, and that like she hasn't put in not nearly as much. She hasn't put in as much um effort to help me out as she has with him. Um, I like it's frustrating, and I'm honestly not sure if it'll ever change. Um, I that's honestly, but my home situation was a big reason why I even went to school so far away because um I was born and raised in Massachusetts, and I still live there now. Um, as I'm recording this, I'm in Massachusetts, and I went down all the way to Florida, the southernmost point I've ever been in my life, um, because I wanted to physically, like, the only way I felt like I was going to physically do well in school was if I was away from the stress that comes with being at home and being around my my stress my stress factors. Because it as much as my mom has a lot to do with it, she's not the only family member um that's caused a lot of stress for me growing up, and I realize I haven't been the perfect angel either, but nobody deserves what I've gone through, and nobody. I know where my heart is. If I'm ever blessed to have kids, to make sure they don't go through that either, because I've I've got money stolen from me. Um, I've I've gotten physically and emotionally abused. Um, I've gotten money stolen from me by my own mother. And I even making this video and talking about specifically identifying who my mother is, like who my main abuser was growing up. I know I'm scared about even putting this video out, but I can't just keep quiet about it anymore just to make someone else happy when it's killing me inside. And I I I don't want to feel like this anymore. And um and and since news broke about Jung Hyun's passing, I am seeing the letter that he gave to his family and to one of his close friends. Reading it, there were there there were points in there that hit home for me, and what what's been like, I don't know why I'm like this, but there's been where in the it's only been a couple days, and there's been multiple times where I felt like even though there was no way financially for me to be able to even be there, I just there's been times where I imagined what if I had been that person to stop him, or at least postpone it for a little bit. And just I can't. I I know deep down that he he wouldn't want anybody to be sad, but when someone that has had a positive influence in your life passes, and not only passes but takes their own life, um, it is going to hurt. Um, it it's I just hope that his mother, his sister, the other members find find peace in this in this tragedy, because I honestly don't believe he would want anybody to be sad. And I hope that, oh, of course it's alright to mourn. I hope that they do it in a healthy way, so that they can so so that they can live the lives um that they were meant to live, and even I hope that within this tragedy, um, that more awareness is brought, um, not just in the entertainment world, um, but in society as a whole. And I don't just mean South Korean society either, or the South Korean entertainment industry. I mean in the whole world, because I've seen I've seen the nasty, awful, despicable comments that people have left under articles with celebrities that have been brave enough to come out in the open and say that they've gone through this, have gone through depression, that they have anxiety, and they have all these other mental illnesses, and the despicable people that have said, "Oh, well, you make this much. What can be so hard?" And you you don't you only know as much as what the celebrities choose to show to the public, and you don't you aren't fully aware of everything that they've gone through and what they continue to go through. The amount of pressure that it amount of pressure that it takes being a celebrity, and there's also not feeling that that you're good enough, that it like that anything bad that happens around you is your fault, that you don't understand that. And even like I it's I say in general, like throughout the whole world, because that's a problem with the American entertainment industry. There's there's problem with in American society. That's a problem with the black community. I like I said earlier in the video, it's people don't realize how much your words have an effect, and I I hate how some people are like, "Oh well, get over it." It's like, "Oh, it's whatever." You, if it was that easy, then people would be doing. It would just be as easy as brushing it off. It's not like that for everybody, and being respectful and being aware, or trying to make yourself aware of that, is how the progression of how mental health, like the awareness of mental health, can progress to where it needs to be, because it's still way too far in the dark ages for modern society. It does not make sense why mental health is only talked about like some issue that's prevalent in everyday society. Like something will happen, and people will talk about it for a few days, and then after those few days, those same people that were making the loudest noise during the first few days after an incident um, becomes public, they the few days after, they're so quiet about it, and it doesn't get brought up again until somebody else says something. It does not make sense to me, and I realized that I've been part of it. I don't say all that much on social media, um, but as someone goes, who has, who deals with mental illness, um, being depression and anxiety, it it needs to change. It it needs to be at the forefront discussion at the forefront of this issues that are being spoken about, and not just for a few days. It needs to be an ongoing thing, and I I just I hope that this brings about change, not only with within the different facets of like everyday society in South Korea, but abroad also, because it it can't be like this. How many more people will like how many more people do we have to lose before before real long lasting change happens? And um I believe I've touched on everything that I wanted to in this video, and so I know I realized I didn't touch on bullying all that much, but I um I'm not sure if I'll make another video just detailing that, but um I didn't realize that this video was going to be as long as it was. And if you've watched the end, thank you. Um, I hope it's helped you um, not only gain more insight on me as a person, but just someone that you can come to if you're going through something. Because I think what needs to happen is that need to be brought together to really combat um, mental illness. So thank you for watching. I will I will try to. I know there was a link. Um, there's been multiple links circulating within the past few days with as far as suicide hotlines and things of the sort. Um, and I will try and link that. And if the country that you're watching this from isn't included in the list of countries, I'm sure Google will be able to help, because like like someone like someone else said, they're really um comprehensive as far as as far as that's concerned. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and I'm not sure when I'll start um, uploading again, like uploading reaction videos, because I, I it happened. I found out about his passing Monday in the U.S., and um, I still I was actually kind of planning on recording that day, but for obvious reasons I didn't. So There's music videos that I was gonna react to, but um, if I do any reactions anytime soon, it won't be any of the ones that I had planned to do. It'll probably just be like funniest moments to, I guess, not only bring my mood up, but bring the mood up of the other shows that are still in mourning. So um, uh, uh, so if you watch to this point, thank you. The fact that you watch over this video that's over an hour and 10 minutes. Thank you. Um, I hope that I can be of help to whoever is watching. And bye.